What's up? James here. I'm in Moab and this is my bike check. So I've been doing a lot of trail reviews lately and a number of people have been asking me, what am I riding? This is the Trek Remedy 8. This is definitely not a cross-country bike. It's more of an enduro bike. Slug it up the hills and then slay the downhills. For the most part, this thing is completely stock, just like how you'd get it from the dealer. The biggest change I've made is I've bumped the fork up to 160. Usually the bike comes at 150mm rear, 150 front. I wanted to slacken it out because I ride a ton of downhill, and I've also slackened it out on the rear end, changing the geometry to give it a longer, slacker feel. The Mino link is in the slackest position. I usually ride it there. The only time I've ridden it in the steeper position is when I raced. So yeah, it's long, low, slack. In the rear shock, I run about 170 psi. I try to keep it at about 30% sag. It feels best that way. In the front, I run 62, 65 psi, and I also run an air spacer in it to ramp up the shock a little bit more. I found that for me to run it so that I did not bottom it out, I had to have it so stiff that the small bump sensitivity sucked. So yeah, put an air spacer in it, lowered the pressure, the small bumps don't hurt my wrists, and it doesn't bottom out when I do the big drops. Definitely recommend that. Ace. Rebound settings on the suspension. On the back, I have it a few clicks out. On the front, I have it 9 clicks out. Right in the middle on the front. I like the back slower because I'm afraid of getting bucked over the front end when I hit big stuff. And with the rear suspension acting slower, it makes me feel safe. The front is quick. That way when you're hitting the small stuff at high speed, it'll come back quick enough to absorb the next bump. Raceface Chester pedals. Haven't slipped once. Of course now I will slip now that I've told you that. One of my favorite additions to the bike is the Marsh Guard. What that does is it keeps rocks from hitting me in the face, and it protects the stanchions and the headset from dirt and water. The levers have got to be tipped down at about 45 degrees, and I like them to stop before they hit my knuckle. They're slid in on the bar for one finger braking. I never use two. I don't know anybody that uses two. Of course it's set up tubeless. I run less than 30 psi, more than 25 psi front and rear. I'm not too picky on the pressure. The first thing I change about the bike is the brakes. I want 4-piston brakes, downhill brakes like Saints or at least these. I love Shimano, but these overheat in a heartbeat. I don't know if you can see it, but just from that last run down Jackson in Moab, these brakes are toasty. Second thing I change is the seat post. I need a longer dropper post. I like it to slam all the way down, but with the seat post all the way down, it doesn't come up high enough for me to be efficient when I'm just riding up a hill. So yeah, those are the two main changes that I make to the bike. If you do decide to get yourself a Remedy or any of the Trek bikes with the full floater design, the one thing you need to check occasionally is the main pivot right here. Just check that bolt and make sure it's tight. The torque setting is 17 Newton meters. I check it every ride. While you're at it, you might as well check all the linkage bolts. If you're hitting stuff like I am, they do tend to get loose. I got this bike because it's the best bang for your buck, and I also work at a Trek dealer, so I got a pretty wicked deal on it. I definitely recommend it. If you don't have a ton of money to spend, but you want a top-of-the-line bike or close to it, the Remedy 8 is definitely a good choice. Alright, hope you learned something from that bike check. Time to go ride.